Welcome to my very cute channel. It's my first time making a content something like this, so it's kind of weird. Before I start, I want to inform you guys that I don't hate any of the NCT members. I love them all. It's just that I hate how nctzens normalize Chenle being mistreated by SM. And please don't throw hate on the nctzens who tweeted and commented offensive words here on this video about Chenle. And if you know someone, or you're one of those people who didn't appreciate Chenle before and now, I hope this video educates you somehow. I didn't want people coming at me for not doing some research, so I researched a little for this video. Since SM and nctzens doesn't seem to know that they are mistreating Chenle, cause seems like they don't really know what mistreatment is. So I googled it for you guys. Google says that mistreat is when you treat a person or an animal badly, cruelly, or unfairly. Okay, see that unfairly? I repeated it because it seems like some of you are blind about this fact. I was actually waiting for someone to open up this issue, but it seems like no one is planning to do it, so I decided that I'll probably be the one to speak out this issue. Why do I think Chenle is treated unfairly by nctzens and SM? Let's start off with the root of this problem, SM. Of course we all know that SM mistreats his foreign idols. The Chinese members are the ones who's getting mistreated the most, but most likely Winwin and Renjun. So since someone already tackled that issue, I won't include it here. But if you didn't know about the mistreatment that happened and still happening to them and want to watch it, the links are in the description. I noticed that some nctzens seems to not agree that not all of the Chinese members are being mistreated. They say that the only exception of this mistreatment is Chenle because he came from a wealthy family, and that SM is scared to mistreat him because of his status. I'll read some of the comments. The first comment says, while the majority of the Chinese members suffer from SM somehow remembers about Chenle and his profitability. Yes, and I think Chenle has the freedom to go back and forth from Seoul to Shanghai, and vice versa for like all the time, can't with you. Probably because SM realizes Chenle and his family could own them in a heartbeat. Who knows, maybe his parents bought some stocks, that's why SM can't mistreat him. Probably because of his family's money, to be honest somehow. I think SM just wants to stay business, lol. It's so sad the way they treat Renjun and Chenle so differently, and I guess it all because Chenle is rich. Now let me show you some tweets. Okay, I've come to a conclusion. Why Chenle isn't being mistreated like Renjun and Winwin just because they are Chinese. Everyone knows he could buy the SM buildings whenever he wants. His parents can sue SM and get richer. Exactly, Chenle isn't as mistreated as the others. Also, it doesn't really matter if he's mistreated because he's rich anyways. And this isn't true. Chenle is given a much different liability, but we can't disregard his mistreatment by SM. Let's start with his screen times. I won't include chewing gum in my first and last MV, since you know the Dreamers weren't the only ones who were in the music video. So if we add all of this, he had 50.73 second screen times in their 5 MVs. He didn't even have some fair screen time. Let's check his line distribution. Since he's also a main vocalist, shouldn't he at least get some fair line distribution or highlighted parts in their title tracks, cause he's also one of the 3 main vocalists. If it weren't for the 6 seconds mini rap, he would have the shortest line. So where are his highlighted parts in any of their title tracks? He's obviously not treated as a main vocalist. Don't even start saying that Chenle lacks the abilities. He's a child singer for God's sake and a professional one. SM was the one who chased him, not the other way around. Just for what? To undermine his vocal abilities. I know some nctzens didn't know that Chenle was also part of the main vocalists until others pointed it out. It isn't even just the company that's undermining Chenle's abilities and skills as a vocalist, some nctzens as well are undermining his skills and saying that he isn't main vocalist material. Also other members get more than one solo schedule and fixed ongoing schedule. Jisung had guested on 3 different shows. The first one was Why Not the Dancer, consisting of 8 episodes. The second one is he was a special guest on Red Velvet's episode in Idol Room. And the last one is Dancing High. J Minimum had guested on 2 shows. His first show was My English Puberty 100 Hours. His second show was Shall We Play GG. He wasn't just a guest in any of this show, he was a regular cast, and he also had his web drama The Way I Hate You. Jeno was a MC for a music show called The Show. He was a regular MC for 1 year and 6 months. And Renjun is a permanent DJ on a radio show called Akdang Seoul, and it has been a year and maybe more years to air. For Chenle, he had only guested on one show called One Night Sleepover. But finally after 2 years he had his second solo activity, all thanks to Renjun for making him a guest on his radio show. I know nctzens will say that because Chenle does get a lot of video contents on the NCT daily. Yeah, but he didn't even had any solo ones. The only thing he gets right now is Chenji this and that. Imagine if Chenle and Jisung didn't become best friends. Chenji this and that probably will never have happened. And if SM wasn't mistreating Chenle, they could have at least sent him on shows, since he has good variety show skills. And he's also good with Korean, so what's stopping SM from letting Chenle guest on shows? SM could have at least given Chenle a chance to do a CF. When Chenle ramen happened, it was so famous that the grocery stores who sells the ingredients of Chenle ramen increased their prices. Also Renjun and Jeno are the ones finding some activities for Chenle. Jeno suggested Chenle to the producers of the show as a special MC, and Renjun always making Chenle a guest on his radio show. Let me show you guys some proof that Chenle is being mistreated by SM. No Chenle on a pager of the album book. He was entirely cropped, reversed photo of him, which makes it look unprofessional. Chenle's picture was somewhat really small compared to others, and improperly cropped. Cutting Chenle's meant for Jisung on the stage. Chenle's reaction when he saw that his center part wasn't in the MV. SM not uploading Chenle's Roland version fancam on Vlives. Chenle saying, the reason why I don't come out on videos often is that I make the videos too fun. I make them too fun. They told me not to make it too fun. This all happened in just one comeback. So what do you think? Was it a coincidence? If you go telling me that SM is scared of Chenle because he's rich, explain to me why did the director of a CF cut Chenle's screen time? It's clear that SM is much more bigger and influential than this new WayV hot spring that just started last year. If SM is really scared of Chenle's family, then would a mere director cut some of Chenle's screen time? Shouldn't the director know that he shouldn't mess with Chenle because he has a wealthy family to back him up? So my point is, why is a much bigger and influential company be scared of Chenle when a new made company just mistreated him? Have I shown you enough evidence? If yes, let's move on. I didn't actually want to add this one, but I want to voice out my opinion about this. I saw this tweets about Chenle being erased from the MACNA line, and I wanted to know why you guys erased him from the MACNA line when you guys didn't even have some correct informations. So I tweeted this, and one of my oomphs saw this and tweeted something. Some of you might say that I'm too sensitive. I will say yes, I'm sensitive. But why didn't you guys delete and didn't even regret erasing Chenle from the MACNA line, or at least say sorry for giving some wrong informations? Let's start with my next rant. Many nctzens wanted to normalize the rich kid joke about Chenle, so it started with this Indonesian bass. If you don't have an idea of what a bass is, I'll explain it to you guys. So this is one of the biggest Indonesian nctzen bass, so it's not for a project, but it's just to interact. And if this bass follow back your account, you can send menfes. It's just like a tweet, but it's posted on this base and reach a wider range of people to interact with. You can clearly see that there are 123k followers of this base. So one of the menfes, the sender, assume that the sender is a little son. So the menfeses are trying to speak up about stop the rich kid joke about Chenle and please appreciate Chenle's talent more. But the replies we are just so disrespectful and do not respect her opinion. there are still many who underestimate, and even said, that this is just a joke, and say that Chenle lost privilege. That's why Chenle can be this successful. It was all because of his wealth and status. Many little sons tried to put things right, but the others were being disrespectful. If you want to see the comment thread, the link is in the description. I'm going to explain why little sons hate the rich kid joke. Little sons hate this because this humorless jokes will make other fandom think, or might think, that Chenle got into NCT just because his family is wealthy, and your jokes are taking it too far. Like for example, if Chenle gets the loudest screams, this how other ncitizens would react. Every time Chenle's part, the audience's sound are so loud. The power of CEO Chenle. Is it just me, or are the scream getting louder during Chenle's parts? Chenle is the president, that's why they all want him, because he is rich. But sadly he is younger than me, like in 5 months. The first one was commented 3 months ago, and other comments are from 3 years ago, when Chenle was still 16 years old. If Chenle says something like the winner will get a special prize, this is how ncitizen jokes. The special prize is probably gonna be a trip to Shanghai after the pandemic and gets a new Tesla, 2 new MacBooks and 4 AirPods. That was so funny. And always labeling Chenle as someone who's only rich. You guys could have at least used cat boy, dolphin, best boy, haribo or cute boy to describe him, but you guys really labeled him as someone who's only rich. Chenle doesn't brag about him being rich. He is pretty humble, honestly. Sure, he jokes about it with his members, but he doesn't waste his money to buy some new clothes or things. He uses the same shirt every day. And who are you to joke about him when you probably don't even know when his birthday is, how many months he really trained, and probably didn't even do something for him. And you guys have the audacity to say you stan OT23, but forgetting jokes about Chenle. Just because we're clowns doesn't mean that we can joke about stuff like this, because it isn't even close to funny. Chenle is more than his family's wealth. He's good at rapping, singing, dancing, cooking, being cute and many more. So please appreciate his charms and talents. I made this video to let you guys know that some of you are taking things too far. You guys don't see it, so it seems that you don't care about Chenle. My only plan was to burn SM, but maybe I'll add some ncitizens to burn. If some of you guys still use the rich kid joke and still won't treat Chenle fairly, and I hope you guys stop saying that not all members are being mistreated. All of SM artists and idols are being mistreated by SM in some way. And please love and support all of NCT members. Before this video ends, please let's work hard for NCT 2020. They worked so hard for this comeback, so I hope you guys will stream and vote for their songs. That's all, thank you for watching this messy video of mine.